Today we're getting some very big signals about the direction of the market, and it all starts here on the SPX, which is closer than ever to actually approaching the 5,000 level for the first time in history. As we all know, the previous all-time highs were set back in December, very, very late December 2021, beginning of January 2022 at about 48.15. And if we fast forward, here we are. It's taken us, about 2 years to get back here. And now, as you can see so far in this daily candle, a little bit of pumpage. But more importantly on Bitcoin's chart, specifically on this chart, we're also getting some, I wouldn't even say small signals, I would say extremely big signals about what's happening right here. So this is the BBW combined with the BB, as I like to call the quad Bs here, and it's showing us something absolutely monumentous for the fourth time only since the very beginning of January 2023. So it's absolutely very big, and we're going to be jumping that in very shortly here. But first, I want to talk about this. So if we jump over here, this was a tweet I tweeted yesterday. Somebody actually commented on one of my videos from a couple years, actually 4 years ago. And basically, this was back, as you can see in the video, back in May 13th of 2020. And in the video, it's a very short clip. You can just go over to Twitter or X if you want to look at it. It's only like 10 seconds. Basically, Bitcoin, the entire crypto market cap was about 250 billion. And in the video, I said, hey guys, this might seem a little crazy to some of you, but I think we're going to be hitting a $3 trillion market cap. And we did. We actually went a little above 3 trillion. But back when I said this, and you can go read the comments, a lot of people thought I was absolutely full of baloney, just delusional, right? Going from 250 billion to 3 trillion in a bull market. People were saying, absolutely not. We're going to get, it's diminishing returns. All the same things you're hearing now, you were hearing back in this video. And this video, as I just said, was May 13th of 2020. So literally also, this pattern in the video literally also happened. This is exactly how the market moved. If we go over to the entire cryptocurrency market, this was all the data we had back when I made that video. It was this pattern. If we go to you can see this triangle right here, and it literally broke up exactly like the little squiggly that I drew on that video. And all I'm saying is now, my opinion is that we're going to extremely easily hit a $10 trillion market cap in the entire crypto space in this upcoming bull market. In the next 12 to 18 months, I personally think closer to that 12-month range, so in about 12 months from now. And people are saying, hey, you're delusional, this is crazy, whatever. Guys, I mean, here's proof of, well, absolutely, this was 100% correct, but, have a little faith and understand how this market moves. Back here, people were calling me crazy. People are probably calling me crazy right now, although most people aren't. I think most people agree with it. Now, another thing, MicroStrategy's Bitcoin holdings since August of 2020, here we go. The company is $2.3 billion in profit on their Bitcoin purchases. Absolutely insanely big. And that leads me into Fidelity now including a 1% allocation of their Bitcoin ETF in their all-in-one conservative ETF. Bitcoin is ingraining itself. You can see 1% here. And now this is another big thing. We see the daily net Bitcoin inflows, buying and selling. You can see that the trend that we've been seeing over the past couple of weeks since the launch. But more importantly, what I just said about this 1% allocation, British HODL has a really good information about this as well. 1% is conservative, not bullish. This is a conservative estimate. 1% with Fidelity plus BlackRock's current assets under management equals $145 billion buy. With the BOFA bull market multiplier, there's an additional 17 trillion added to market cap. As I just said, I said about 10, right? This conservative with these inflows predicts, potentially almost 20 trillion in market cap, an additional $814,000 per Bitcoin price. And as he says here, it's not YouTubers or Twitter people saying this, it's asset managers, the largest asset managers on the planet. I remember back in 2020 when, if I would say, hey, the crypto market's going to 3 trillion, I'd be like, oh, you're just a YouTuber, you're just a guy on the internet saying something. Now, though, it's fundamentally different. You can't say that now because it's not just people on the internet saying things. It's the people that have the highest, the most respected names, right? Where most people, I don't think people really respect them too much, but if you're in finance, these are the names you look to as the end all be all of, what do they think is possible? And they're saying this is possible. So I think that's very absolutely big. Now, another thing I want to highlight, Magza Scalping Pro, altcoin market cap break of the massive Wyckoff accumulation. If we actually zoom into this chart, you can see very clearly, this is the accumulation schematic number 2, Wyckoff events, Wackoff events, and phases. If we zoom in, you can see, I mean, it looks identical. It looks exact. This is from July 2022 till now. So well over a year of price data on this screen. With phase E potentially beginning, maybe one more drop first in the entire altcoin market cap, and then, absolute pumpers, absolute gainers. So that's absolutely big. Now I want to jump back into this chart here. The BBW, if we zoom out, you can see that we have the BBWs coming down to the lowest level on this indicator only 4 times since January of 2023. Each one of them precipitated a massive move. Not always up though. That's the big thing. So back here at the very beginning of January, about January 4th, we had this hit the lowest level. We see how tight the Bollinger Bands are. You can see how tight they are right here. And we went from 16,000 up to 25,000. It was the beginning of a very big move, right? And then we see it again here in August of 2023, very low here, the same on as it was back in January, August 2023. Bitcoin goes from about 29,000 to 25,000. It was a breakdown right here. However, a couple of weeks later, we saw this at the beginning of October, the same exact thing, and Bitcoin then moves from 27,000, really began this entire uptrend up to over 48,000 US dollars. And now we're seeing this volatility return. Now the big question is, will this be a dumpy candle, or will we see another big pump here? This does not predict pumps, or actually it does. It doesn't predict whether it will be a pump or dump. It just predicts that there will be a pump or dump. It just shows the volatility is probably about to increase. And so we see that here. We're probably going to see a return to volatility soon. And that's kind of the key takeaway from this chart. Now, one thing I want to highlight too is that if we go to the weekly chart for Bitcoin, if we can't ignore this really, in my opinion. If we look at this chart, clearly we're actually up today so far, but we do see a MACD bearish crossover here on the weekly chart. On the daily chart for Bitcoin, we're seeing the opposite. It looks like momentum on the daily has been picking up ever since about January 25th. When we really started to see momentum on the MACD on the daily chart really start to swing to the other side. We're actually now, as of today so far, above all key daily moving averages, 2150 and 100-day moving averages. We're just getting above the 50 as of today so far, with Bitcoin up a little bit today and altcoins up a decent amount as well. You can see that on this daily chart for Bitcoin. But also, if we look at the 4-hour chart, still, in my opinion, there's no real break of this trend, this trading range, unless we would get above basically 45,000 at this point. So we're not there quite yet, but in my opinion, this is still ranging. It's nothing crazy. The fact, though, that we did bounce and held here for about the past almost 2 weeks right at the bottom here is an indication that maybe we actually have room to move higher in the short term, because you can see we were trading right at the bottom of this. And yeah, I think that a real breakout would begin if we get above about 45,200. It is, the way I have this drawn is slightly ascending. So every 4 hours that go by, basically, this trend gets a little higher. That number required gets a little bit higher. But another thing, again, I just want to highlight the importance of the stock market. The SPX today, again, really nice open. We have hours. I mean, by the time you're watching this, maybe the market has closed. Maybe Bitcoin's much higher or much lower than it currently is. But as of right now, the stock market, I think that this will be big. The SPX, if we're actually able to concretely break a gigantic psychological level, I just think that'll be very telling for the market to see, once we get above that level, if we start to lose momentum or if we actually start accelerating. Because a lot of people honestly believe that this stock market move is already extended and that we aren't going to go much higher. This will absolutely be very important for kind of, I think, where Bitcoin's going to be going over the next couple of weeks. If the stock market does really well, Bitcoin's very likely to also do very well. And sign up with Femex below if you want to buy Bitcoin, altcoins, or trade. And without any further ado,